What's up, everybody? It's Boss. What do you do when you have extra peppers? Either too much from a harvest, or like in my case, a friend sent you some in the mail and you're not quite ready to use them, but you don't want to let them go to waste? Lots of ways to preserve peppers. Today I'm going to show you what I do to dehydrate and make my own pepper powder and flakes. Let's get started. Alright, so we've got everything laid out here. Got our knife ready. I'm just going to take a quick look at some of these beautiful pods. Right, I got these sent to me from a friend on the Pepper Lovers community. I'm going to separate these all by color. There's I think these are Scotch bonnets. We got some daytail. There's some Pommy and Goats. There was Dragon's Breath. A handful of others. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but really good looking pods. So I want to separate the colors so that I can make powders of brown, red, and yellow peppers. So really all I'm going to do here is split these in half to get them ready for the dehydrator. It's a key step. They're going to go in a dehydrator. So on the left there, I have the dehydrator trays. So as I cut these in half, I'm just going to lay them right on the tray. I'm not going to bother taking the seeds out or anything like that. I'm just going to slice them in half, make sure we don't have any nasty spots that need to be removed, and just load them up. I'm going to do one color per tray. So I'll have a tray of brown, a tray of red, and a tray of yellow peppers. Inside of this sucker. Hopefully you can tell on camera, it is just really, really, really oily. Looks hot. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me cut all of these open, so we'll skip through to the next part, but rest assured I cut every single one of these peppers in half and then loaded up these trays just like this. So they're all chopped up and on the dehydrator trays, so I'm going to carry them out very carefully to the dehydrator, which I keep in the garage. And if you're asking, why do you keep the dehydrator in the garage? Well, I don't want to gas out my whole family while I'm dehydrating these peppers. The fumes coming off of this are pungent, right? So just be aware of that if you're going to put them in a dehydrator, especially if you're going to try and put them in your oven. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can put them in your oven, set it to its absolute lowest setting. In a lot of ovens, that's 170. So if that's the case, you want to leave the door cracked a little bit so they don't cook. You want to dry them. But they're in here right now and they are at 158 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to set the timer for 6 hours. I'll check on them about halfway through and see how they're doing. But for now, let's just walk away and go clean up the mess I just made. Alright, it has been a little better than 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I'm going to take a quick look at these to see how they are doing. You can see they're starting to shrivel, but they're not actually dried all the way. They're still a little bit squishy. You can see there's moisture in them still. So I know those are going to need some more time. The 2 hours and 20 minutes left on the timer probably won't be enough, but I'll come check on them again and add some time if I need to. They've been out here now for a total of 8 hours, and they look good. You can hear how crispy they are. Right? So those are done. We're going to take them inside and get them ready to grind. We're going to use a mortar and pestle here. It's a lot easier in my opinion. It also gives you more control over the grind. You can also use an electric grinder if you so choose, but because I didn't bother taking the seeds out, I'm lazy. This actually makes it pretty easy for me to separate seeds from the powder. You just got to grind carefully. So if you push too hard or get too crazy, you'll be sending bits of super hot pepper all over the counter, which you probably don't want, or your significant others probably don't want. So I'm just going to do this. It'll take me a few minutes to grind through each one, right? But you can see big chunks start to become small chunks, and all of a sudden you have a powder and a whole bunch of seeds. The nice thing here is that it's going to be pretty easy now to separate those seeds from the powder. Again, I don't want to sit there and manually pick them out at the beginning. I'm trying to make this as low effort as possible. So we have our yellow powder ready to go through a sifter here in just a few minutes. And so basically we're going to dump it into the sifter. We're going to have the sifter on top of a plastic container, in my case, just for a temporary catch. Alright, so we're just going to shake this here. Depending on how big the holes are on your strainer, this will take longer. You will get bigger pieces or smaller pieces through. This is a very fine mesh strainer, so a lot of those bigger pieces of pepper are not coming through. Now you can see here, so now we've got a nice fine powder. We have some seeds and some larger pepper pieces. I will save those for later. I'm going to use them to make chili oil. Do this again for the other two colors of pepper. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. So now we have our red and our brown getting all smashed up, ready to go. doing the exact same thing as before, sifting them through. And look at this. We are ready to bottle. So to bottle them, you're just going to want to get a funnel. I put them in these little spice jar things. You can put them in anything. Tupperware is fine. You could combine them all into one of these Tupperware things and be fine. But if you do this, saves from making too much of a mess, give it a few good taps, and all of a sudden, with very little effort, all of your bottles are full. So you now have 3, in this case, really pretty looking pepper powders. These are all going to be very hot, and I can't wait to start using them. So that's it, how easy it is to take fresh peppers, throw them in the dehydrator until they are crispy, crunchy, crush them up, and you will be enjoying delicious pepper powder for a lot longer than those fresh peppers would have been able to keep. I'm really happy with the way these turned out. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you have tips or other recipes you'd like to share, definitely leave that below as well. Peace. Garden game on my kid. You spice it up and grow like bosses. I grow that hotness so y'all can watch this growing journey on my way to be a botanist. I got this garden game on my kid. You should spice it up and grow like bosses.